Welcome back. This is a brand new episode of Pop Kannon. This is episode 77. We are your hosts. My name is Jordan.
I'm Robert.
And I'm Joe.
Today we are going to talk about San Diego Comic-Con 2022. Although a bunch of things happened at the event itself, we don't have time to cover all of it. But you could always engage with us on our social media platforms about stuff that we didn't cover in this episode. So find us on Facebook in our Facebook group, the Pop Kannon Collective, or follow us on Instagram or Twitter at Pop Kannon. Don't forget the K. It's because we're special. On to the event itself. What do you guys want to talk about first?
It's probably the most imminent thing that we got a trailer for, like movie-wise. Black Adam. And Dwayne was in person in costume.
That was pretty cool. I loved the trailer. I'm very excited for this movie. And it seems as though they actually get to fight with Black Adam instead of just teaming up with him to face some big bad.
Yeah, it definitely looks like the Justice Society is like full bore going to war with him. There's the sequence with him and Dr. Fate, and then also that huge moment with him and Hawkman, which I thought just looked phenomenal.
Yeah, it seems like they're really, I think, kind of beating Marvel to the punch on the anti-hero kind of thing. We got an announcement for Thunderbolts, but that's still a ways off.
Yeah.
And for not really bringing much to Comic-Con, at least what they brought was very good.
DC was noticeably not the talk of the town this weekend. Understandably so.
Yeah.
But all things considered, DC will probably have another fandom event, which we've covered previously on the podcast. So if you'd like to go back, check those episodes out. We might do one this year if they decide to have another fandom event.
Has not been announced officially yet. They have not announced one yet because they just had the merger this summer. So just saying. I think they will, though, because it's silly of them not to. The other trailer that DC brought was Shazam Fury of the Gods. How did you feel about that one?
Yeah, so the Shazam Fury of the Gods trailer, really kind of impressed and also very surprised at how much everyone's aged.
Yeah. Those kids grow up real fast.
I think that was the most apparent thing from that trailer to me.
Yeah. How long has it been since the first one?
2019.
Yeah. Not that long then.
Do you think that they went and got Helen Mirren on purpose then to try to offset?
Maybe.
She and Lucy Liu are they said they are the daughters of Atlas. I mean, and they look interesting. I'm kind of confused because of the post credit tease that they did at the end of the first Shazam. Like, where's that worm or that whatever that was? Like,
that doesn't matter. We're moving on.
I'm just saying, like, and then also, like, the day before Comic-Con happened, DC announces Snyderverse is dead. We're not going forward with it anymore. Front and center at the beginning of this trailer is 3 characters from Zack Snyder's Snyderverse, including Batman, and it's just like
a different universe that just very closely resembles the Snyderverse.
It's just like, dude, I don't know. I don't know what the hell they're doing. It just doesn't make sense.
They don't know what they're doing.
They
and that's
don't.
the problem. And we've waxed poetically multiple times about how DC does not know what they're doing with their characters.
But the trailer looked fun.
Joe, what did you think of the trailer?
I think they did a good job of keeping up the fun energy from the first go around, which, like, I didn't expect to love the first Shazam as much as I did. It's nice to see, like, superheroes in Philly as, like, a Philly guy. I remember in the first one, they threw the bus that I used to take to work off a bridge. And then just, like, the fun thing of him having a face-off with the villain at, like, what looks like a fast food joint. and like going to talk to his pediatrician. It's just a lot of really fun concepts for like a superhero movie. And like I think DC's kind of finding a better stride with like, I don't want to say like smaller heroes, but like with these like side characters. Like I'm really interested in like what Shazam's doing because he doesn't have to be connected to every other thing in the world. Like I like that they exist and like he like has that kind of longing for that. But yeah, the other one that I was kind of depressed we didn't see anything from was Blue Beetle, which like it's way too early for a trailer, but like concept art or like something, because like that's a really interesting project for them to bring.
Yeah.
Didn't they just wrap filming on that?
They just wrapped it, yeah.
Yeah. The plus with that is that will no longer be a television show and it will be a film. So we will get something for that
soon.
Again, possibly at a future DC event.
Yeah.
Right.
Sticking within the realm of DC, though, we did see a trailer for Netflix's The Sandman.
And it starts August 5th. Like, the shit's like happening very soon.
I mean, they announced that a while back, and nobody's really seen anything from it until this weekend. So props to them for like not releasing anything early on.
Or leaking anything.
We saw Brienne of Tarth in there.
Yeah. And I think Charles Dance was in there as well, right?
Yeah, there were a couple familiar faces. I'm definitely intrigued. I've never read The Sandman before.
Yeah.
I've heard good things. Like Sam Lyles used to talk about it all the time back in college. I'm interested. I'll give it a watch and see what episode 1 has to hold.
It doesn't seem like something that you can throw on as like, I'm going to scroll on my phone while this show is airing. It seems like there's way more high concept shit happening than just like background noise. So it's got to definitely be something that you devote time to, it looks like. But it looks really interesting. The visuals are fucking wild. Like, it's in that trailer. Like,
it looks like a lot of stuff that they like really wanted to like translate page to screen.
Yes.
And yeah, I know like Sandman has like such a huge following and a lot of people have been looking for an adaptation for a long time. I know like a long time ago, like Joseph Gordon-Levitt was attached to like a movie, but then it got scrapped.
That.
It's been like in development for probably since the comic actually came out, I imagine. But yeah, so it is really exciting for those fans to finally get it coming to the screen, even if it is the small screen. But that, for something like this, I think that might even be a better place for it, just to be able to fit more of the story in and try to break it up into a 2-hour story.
And try to like squeeze as much as possible in.
Right, exactly. And it looks very Neil Gaiman. I don't know if you guys, did you watch Good Omens on Prime?
No,
but
It's
I've
a fun
seen trailers
show,
for it.
but it's
and
based on-
I see the parallels.
Yeah, it's a Neil Gaiman book, and like it's just like, even just like the snarky guy with dark round sunglasses is like right there in the same thing. But yeah, I also, having never read Sandman, I'm very interested to actually see the story and to find out if it is like a good adaptation.
Yeah.
But we'll have to look to Sam Lyles for that.
Sticking with something that might be fun to throw on while you're scrolling on your phone, I guess Dungeons and Dragons was a thing. It's not really my bag. It's not my IP. I respect the people that enjoy it, but I'm just not really one of them. What do you guys think?
This is a movie, right? This is like, it looks like
with Chris Pine.
A lot of fun. It looks like it's a lot of fun. Like, I think this is going to be way underrated in terms of how much people enjoy it. Because it seems like there's a humor, like there's a nice humor element to it. The action looks like it's going to look good. Like, the trailer looks great, I feel like.
Yeah, it looks like a step up from just a cash grab. Because obviously,
Yeah.
like, actual play podcasts are very big right now. And I think, well, Stranger Things led to, like, a new renaissance in pop culture of Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's very much a thing that, like, I don't know needs to exist. Like,
Right.
but it looks fun enough that, like, if I had the chance, I'll probably watch it. I think, like, the fun of D&D is, like, putting yourself into that story, or even, like, listening to, like, other people's experience of that story, but
Right.
having it, like, scripted out for you is a little bit
Yeah.
outside of the spirit. But it looks like there's enough, like, references and, like, deep D&D cuts in there that I think, like, fans will probably have a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I did notice that Justice Smith from The Quarry is in there.
Of Detective Pikachu fame. And Chris Pine is like a leading man, bard, rogue. It's just fun.
Yeah. He does Sirius so well, I feel like, Chris Pine. Like, I feel like he does Sirius really well. That when you get him to turn on a dime to do something goofy, it makes it that much more funny to me.
See, I think my, like, first exposure to Chris Pine was the J.J. Abrams Star Trek, which I love.
Okay. Yeah,
But,
yeah.
like, he's very much, like, having fun in that role.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I think he does that really well. And then with the loot thing, like, he did Into the Woods, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, he's got a musical background, too, that it seems like he's going to get to play around with in this.
I haven't watched Into the Woods in forever. I forgot it was a thing for a second.
It was also very fun to see Sophia Lillis from It chapters 1 and 2, the reboots, as well as Sharp Objects, one of my favorite HBO shows. She was fantastic in that, and she looks like she's having a good time in this. She got to have that quick comedic back and forth with Chris Pine in that moment in the trailer, just talking about how he's only like a planner. So I thought that was fun, at least.
Yeah, and she's playing, like, the druid, like, the more, like, magic-centered user of the group. So it seems like she's having fun with that, too.
Sticking with something fun, we also got a teaser trailer for the new Disney Plus short, I guess, a series of 5 shorts, I Am Groot.
Dude, this looks great.
It looks fun, yeah.
It just
Like-
looks like a fun, like, Marvel carefree show that doesn't have weight and, like, continuity holding it down. It just looks like a fun mini series, basically.
I sort of wish there was a little bit more time given, because it's probably going to be, like, so enjoyable that you're going to be like, damn, there was only 50 minutes total of that.
Yeah, but they're probably going to be very, like, narrative light, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I'm assuming what we get in the trailer is one of the, like, a big part of one of the episodes, and that was just, like, hilarious. They got me immediately.
Well, it's fun, too, because it's done by James Gunn, once again.
I also read that Rocket at least makes an appearance in one of them.
Nice.
Yeah, they said Bradley Cooper's going to do the voice in it, too.
Yeah.
So.
And then somebody obviously immediately asked James Gunn about continuity. Where does this fall in the Guardians universe? And he goes, it's continuity unto itself.
Yeah.
Like, it exists within
Anytime.
what it exists, and that's it. Like,
Yeah.
it's not that big of a deal, guys.
Well, since we're already into Marvel, we might as well just stay there, because
That's where
Not
we're going
much
to be.
else to talk about.
They did own the show.
yeah. So next, we have the next Disney Plus series coming out, and that is She-Hulk, Attorney at Law.
Attorney at Law.
Now we have a subtitle.
So I don't think that the visual effects look as janky as it did in that first trailer.
No.
The tone of the show is kind of where I'm like, what are they going for with these trailers? Like, what are you trying to tell me that this is? Because it seems like it's really heavy in comedy, and I don't know, is that what you're getting from that?
Yeah, and I mean, that's how She-Hulk comics in, like, the 80s were. Like, they were very, like, fourth wall break and, like, a lot of comedy.
Okay.
Yeah, I think like having this is like a more comedic exploration of like that side of the Marvel universe and like how the universe is expanding in some ridiculous ways. I think it'll be fun. It'll be really like, it's funny that they teased Daredevil showing up in it because I don't know how he fits into that world.
They're lawyers, okay? They're just lawyers.
Right.
That's it.
So like, yeah,
That's
it's just funny because
connection.
like that's like it's a show about a superhero lawyer, but like it's such a different vibe of a show.
Yeah.
Which like I guess like the stuff with like Kingpin and Hawkeye makes me like a little nervous for like putting Matt into that world. But I'm definitely interested.
It's too late. It's too late.
It's too late. The train's out of the
Train's
station.
already going.
Yeah, I see. I wasn't even necessarily concerned with that. I just, when Daredevil showed up at the end, I was like, wait, why? And then it said She-Hulk attorneys at law, and I was like, son of a bitch. Like, really, the connection is that they're fucking lawyers. Oh my god. I mean, cool. Any additional seconds you could give me of Charlie Cox as Daredevil, I'll take. But also, it appears as though he's wearing, he's got a yellow and red kind of gear going on.
It looked kind of yellow and red when he jumped over her, but then when they start panning up, it looks more like just a regular red. So I don't know if that was just like a trick of the light or if that is intentional.
I think it's intentional. It looks pretty close.
They're gonna
to
have his goofy original costume.
Yeah.
But some of the stuff that her and Bruce are talking about in the trailer seems like Bruce is really trying to help her dig to the core of the character, and she just like she's not interested right now in exploring that part of who she is and why.
I think like what comes to mind for me is that like humor is a coping mechanism. So I wonder like what Jennifer's actually going through in this show.
Yeah.
That she is kind of like withdrawing in that way. Like I imagine there might become some kind of sneaky heavy plot in there around
either that or like Bruce is a terrible teacher in the ways of the Hulk is the
I
two
can't
ways
imagine
that
he
could
would
go.
be a great one because it's like I don't think he ever imagined anyone else would ever have to go through that.
Because like that's bumbling Ruffalo Hulk just seems like he would be the worst teacher.
I mean, he's already the worst to watch on screen. So that's why I'm like, do we have to? Do we have to?
His sad, grumbling, okay face like that he does constantly just really pisses me off every time I see it.
And like,
it makes me want to Hulk smash, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and like the thing is, I really like the girl who plays Jennifer. She was fun in the very few episodes of Orphan Black that I've seen.
Yeah.
And I've seen her in a couple other things, but I'm excited to see her range here. I'm concerned of how much we're going to see big green Jennifer versus just like Tatiana.
Well, when she sleeps, she goes back to herself. So,
well, they even showed her in like that bank or wherever they were in her human form. So I think she does kind of get a handle on it. But I'm like of two minds because like I do like the actress, but I like that She-Hulk canonically is like always She-Hulk.
yeah.
But the effects look really bad, so I won't like hate it if she's not always She-Hulk.
I was going to say, and that's the problem because like she doesn't look anything like that in real life. So there's no way to make that transition like easier.
Yeah,
it's just always going to look like strange, I feel like.
Well, so is this, I'm assuming that this is where Bruce also gets a control on how to switch between Smart Hulk and Bruce Banner, because we've seen him now as Bruce Banner in other things. So it's like, wait.
So yeah, all that's going to wind up being answered.
I hope.
Maybe.
I don't know.
In some form or fashion.
But my problem is like, are we gonna get 9 episodes of smart bumbling Hulk? Like that's not what I want to see.
I don't think.
Like I don't want to watch.
I don't
him
think Hulk's
teaching
going to
her
be
how
there
to.
that long. I think Hulk is just there to give her the blood transfusion, and then maybe like an episode of two of them in Hawaii training. But then I think it's gonna be the Jennifer Walters law show.
I mean, he's
and then maybe
in
he
all,
comes back
he's
at the
in
end.
all 9 episodes. He's a main cast member of the show.
That's confirmed.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why
That'll
I'm
be fun.
like,
I don't have a problem with Mark Ruffalo.
So is it?
I
Is
don't
it
have a
9
problem
episodes?
with Mark Ruffalo. I have a problem with the way that they use the Hulk as a character anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm just not interested.
Is it?
So-
Is it 9 episodes? It's not like 6 or anything. It's like 9.
Yeah, I think it's 9.
That's
Wow.
good.
There was the rumor that somebody has been cast as a character from the Fantastic Four, and that character may pop up in this She-Hulk show. The rumor that Jason Segel, of all people, has been cast as Ben Grimm, the Thing, and then is supposed to allegedly pop up in this show somewhere, and then the
Do you
rumor
think he
then
would show up as the Thing or as Ben Grimm?
no, I think that you put him in the show just as Ben Grimm,
Yeah.
somebody that she knows, and then you just like don't mention him again. But you've just like the example I always think of is the way that they said Stephen Strange in Winter Soldier. They just said it, and we were still way far out on that ever being a thing. Like, it's just, we know that he exists and we keep moving. Or like Bruce screwing up the name Wakanda, and then we keep, you know what I mean? Just like mention it and then just throw it out there. So like Ben Grimm, the person being in She-Hulk, I think would be amazing.
Yeah. The idea of having Jason Segel in a Marvel property
Yeah.
as Ben Grimm, I think is very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very interesting choice. I love him
Yeah.
as like an actor and like a writer and director and all of that stuff. So I'm very interested to see how he fits into this world
If it's true.
if it's
Yeah.
true.
You like
true.
smash words on the screen. Huge if true. No, I'm very intrigued about it, man. I'm very intrigued about it. I want to see. I hope it's a good Disney Plus show.
Yeah.
The fact that it's the last Disney Plus show of Phase 4 is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
They really did some shuffling, and we'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
But let's go from the final TV show of Phase 4 to the final movie of Phase 4, which is Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. First of all, what a fucking trailer.
Dude.
Disney knows what they're doing when it comes to promoting their Marvel films.
Dude, think about the first Black Panther movie's trailer and how incredibly effective that was and how excited everybody got for it. Like, I feel like this one doesn't, obviously, I don't think it has the same excitement level because there's like just a massive weight of somber on top of it. But like, I've watched that trailer like 4 times. Like, I think it's fucking stunning.
It's just wild how meta it is, I guess. Like, it's not even about, like, it is about the movie. It's obviously promoting the movie, but like, there's just, the music has that obvious like underlying statement of like, this is also about Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah,
Like,
and the
this whole
legacy
thing,
that he
like-
left behind.
Right. It is just wild. Yeah, I've watched that trailer like probably 10 times already.
I was thinking about it as I was watching it the first time, that like, not since The Dark Knight Rises did we get the follow-up to a gigantic, larger than life performance from an actor before he was taken too soon from us. And The Dark Knight Rises, like, they didn't even touch on it. So
No,
there's
it's,
no
like,
way around
unprecedented.
it.
Yeah. The only way out is through.
Yeah.
So I'm so mesmerized by what they're going to do with the film itself, but also like the way that they're promoting it, I feel like is very tasteful.
I'm just curious as to what they're going to say in the universe, because I don't think, and I think we were talking about this via text, like, I don't think that the way that they've established the technology for Wakanda, I don't think that you could say he passed away from an illness. I just don't think that you can, because they've just made it seem as though it's no big deal. Like she like fixed bullet wounds and shit. You know what I mean? Like
Yes and no, but I feel like if they go the route and they say like it was cancer, like there's still no cure for cancer in the MCU.
I guess, yeah.
Hypothetically speaking, like they can do that. And then in turn, I think it would also make it easier for them to tell their story. Because it's not like they have to avenge his death because he died in battle or something like that.
Yeah, it doesn't seem as though there's any sort of like they need to avenge what's going on for him.
Which I like.
Yeah, no, it really doesn't. And I'm just not that I'm like nervous or anything. I'm just so curious about what they're gonna say, or they're just gonna be like he's passed on and that's it. They're not even gonna give you a fucking why, because they don't even necessarily have to.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, a lot of the shots in that opening trailer where everyone's in white.
Yeah, it
made
definitely
me
his
think
funeral.
that's his funeral.
for fucking sure, like no doubt about it. And the guy had the drums, and then there was the mural of him. That's 100% a procession, and I think even Shuri is carrying the helmet.
That's going to be tough to watch.
Yeah.
Because we're all going to mourn collectively. Because we didn't get to do that as an audience.
And the character at the same time.
I saw somebody like tweet like this was really hard just because like they're showing all this pain and I know that it's not an
real?
act. Like this is all real. Like it's not the same as like seeing like Tony Stark's face in like the Far From Home trailer. Like this is a real person.
And it's I also like there's levels of meta commentary on how the movie picks up, because it's all of the women in the culture having to move forward, and they've lost the king or the man or whatever. Like it's just there's a lot of levels to that shit too. So I have no doubt that Ryan Coogler is like, this is going to be such a I feel like this movie is going to be such a fucking home run. And like there's been the last couple film releases, people have been like, I don't like this, I like this, I don't like this, I like this. Like I don't think that this movie is going to suffer that same fate as the most recent MCU releases. I think this is going to probably be a fucking grand slam.
And even just like moving on from that, like the mourning perspective, like what we got of like actual like comic book shit was just wild too. Like the Ironheart tease, which like it's nothing more than just a shot of a girl with a hammer, but like I'm like, oh my god, like she builds her first armor here. The everything with
that blew my mind.
Atlanteans and Namor.
Oh,
dude, the fact that Ironheart, like I don't know anything about her from the comics. I know the general idea of the comic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've not read it. I know of it, and then to see that that's who Shuri was like greeting, I was like, oh, because I had no idea who the fuck she's shaking hands with. And then she hammers out the heart, and I was like, is it gonna be vibranium? Is she gonna make like a vibranium Iron Man suit? Because holy fuck.
Yeah.
And to like start there for that character is like, that's insane.
Yeah.
But you also mentioned do you say it Namor or Namor?
I usually say Namor, but I don't know if I've ever heard it. I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
I've always pronounced it Namor.
Namor, yeah. So Namor and the Atlanteans, who are Central American, which just looks fucking amazing. Looks amazing.
Yeah. I love the fact that they kind of like took inspiration from like Mayan and like Aztec type
it looks
warriors and ancient tribes and stuff like that. It makes that culture feel like so important within the world, the same way that like Wakanda is represented in this world.
No, I feel like it's refreshing that Atlanteans don't look European. I feel like, because that's typically the way that Atlanteans look anytime that you watch Atlanteans in anything. So I was like immediately like, wait a minute, because he's got the wings on his feet, and I was like, whoa, like he looks fucking awesome.
Yeah.
and we see his birth in the trailer. And it's almost like Namor's story is like reverse Killmonger. Where he's of two lands, but then he stays with the other culture rather than going out with the human culture. So there's really interesting parallels with that. And then the additional meta commentary of Wakanda being representative of Africa, and Atlantis in this movie seemingly being representative of the Mayan culture, both of them being taken over and used and abused. Here having these like, what technology does Atlantis have in the MCU that we don't know about? Or are they warring over a fraction of vibranium that they have that they found in the ocean? You know what I mean? Like,
right.
It's just
like there's whatever that like big orb was that Namor was standing in front of, but then like we don't see
the orb.
We don't
the orb.
Yeah. We don't see any Atlantean technology. Like even like they get around by like whales.
Yeah,
that will be an interesting question to ask. But like also, I guess the question is like, how formidable are they, even if they don't rely on technology? Like if they can
seem
go
pretty
toe-to-toe
fucking
with
formidable,
Wakandans, even with that. Right.
Dude, the shot of the Atlanteans like standing on that beach, and the shooting coming from overhead from the ship, and Namor doesn't move, and everybody else peels out, and then we see something else in the trailer, and then the next thing is M'Baku with that fucking big ass stick like flying up in the air onto that beach where Namor was literally just standing. I was like, I need to get into the theater. I need to go to the theater. I'm gonna wait here.
I was gonna say earlier, is that how we get adamantium? In the MCU, having it be like, another precious metal type resource. You know how Wakanda has vibranium, the Atlanteans control adamantium.
Yeah, but like
it could happen.
That is possible. I
just saying.
like the idea that adamantium
Joe's
is
so
like,
mad about it though.
Because adamantium's a synthetic vibranium.
Oh, okay.
Or at least I'm not sure if that's totally canon. I think that was at least canon in Ultimate Universe, where it was people trying to
make vibranium,
and they came with
interesting
adamantium,
and they did like a really fucking good job.
Yeah, like adamantium is like the hardest thing except for vibranium.
They were right there.
How cool would it be though if it was the Atlanteans controlling it? Someone steals it and they think that it's the Wakandans. It's a whole thing. I don't know.
Well, then
but it's actually somebody in Canada, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, because there's also that like the agency that's got that like drilling platform where we first like see them like going down into the ocean.
I'm assuming that's what
Freeman's
pisses off
character
them.
Is coming back, the CIA agent.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming there's probably some like the U.S. did some shady shit. I'm really sorry. You guys are kind of catching the brunt for this. Maybe the Wakandans gave the U.S. some like drilling equipment, not knowing what they were going to do with it. And the Atlanteans blame them.
I was thinking something to the effect of like the Atlanteans. It's like a miscommunication as to why they're pissed at Wakanda, but Wakanda doesn't have a chance to explain it to them because like everything that's going on with their government right now. So.
I have to assume there's a greater enemy in this, and that I don't know if I want this or not, but I have to imagine that there's like a path to peace for the Atlanteans and the Wakandans, if not an alliance by the end.
Yeah. Yeah, they're just going to Batman v Superman it. Someone's going to find out that they have the same name, and it's going to be fine. They're going to team up.
T'Challa, why did you say that name? It's not as common as Martha, but still, it could work.
That's why it's even stranger.
Who do you project is in the Black Panther suit that we see reveal at the end? Who is it?
I think it's probably Shuri, but I would rather it be Lupita Nyong'o's character. But I think it's probably Shuri.
Nakia.
Yeah, I hope it's not Shuri. I was gonna say I hope it's Nakia.
Even with like all that stuff, like if it ends up being Shuri, like part of me wonders. I don't know any of like the on set issues or anything. But,
Oh,
like,
yeah,
I wonder if
no.
like Ryan Coogler is like, I'm doing this and then I'm done. Like, does he?
Maybe.
Because like with everything that like happened on that set, like how much does he want to stay in that world? And I don't really know. Like I said,
That's a good question. I think it is most likely Shuri in that suit.
Yeah.
somebody even pointed out like the arms have like the open Panther mouth, similar to like her gauntlets that she used in the first one.
Did it?
Yeah.
I didn't even notice that. I know that I just they extend the claw. That's all I caught. And like the color scheme kind of looked like Killmonger's. Look, I'm not holding out hope that Michael B. Jordan can somehow be returned to this franchise to just be the Black Panther from a different universe going forward.
That being said, he could always show up in Secret Wars for all we know.
Right. Like, if we're calling phases 4, 5, and 6 the multiverse saga, most of the movies are going to have to deal with the multiverse at some point. I'm just saying.
Well, especially
if he
this like
passes through a membrane and says, I'm your Black Panther now, I think they'd all be like...
I think that's also a valid point in that this is set to be the final movie in phase 4, which means like what is it that makes it a finale?
Yeah.
Besides, like, I can see that like Quantumania as like a dawn of something just with like Kang's first appearance. But like what makes this an end point?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It could be something like that.
That's a very good question too, because like what are they setting up that's going to really blow this whole thing open? Because Kevin Feige's even said that we're going to be more direct with the theme of phases 5 and 6.
I mean,
basically,
if you didn't get that phase 4 was the beginning of the multiverse era at this point, I don't know if you're watching all the stuff.
But I think they did a good job of having phase 4 be like a transitional phase. Like we got a good cool down.
Oh my God.
From
yeah, there's a
Endgame.
lot. There's so much that was built up in phase 4. There's
like,
so much groundwork and foundational work that had to be done, including the stripping down of old things.
Yeah, stuff that like was seemingly not related, but then like now that we're here, we're like, okay, I see where they're still planting seeds even now. Like they're not rushing anything.
Right.
Which I very much appreciate. Because I'm pretty sure they have stuff planned out until 2028 or something like that.
Probably
like they have
by
like that many movies planned ahead that they're like fully like, okay, this is the plan going from here. I mean, they came out with a gigantic phase 5 announcement.
They announced stuff for phase 6.
Yeah, so phase 5, let's run through it quick.
Just run it down.
Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, What If Season 2, Secret Invasion. Then we get Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which was also supposed to be in Phase 4, got reshuffled into Phase 5. Then we go back to Disney Plus where we get Echo, and then Season 2 of Loki, which I'm very excited for. It's fun that that's smack in the middle of the phases. Then we go to the Marvels to the theaters in July of 2023. Then Ironheart, Blade, Agatha, Coven of Chaos.
They changed the name.
Yeah, changed the name. So it's either going to be winter of 2023 or early 2024. And then an 18-episode series of Daredevil, Born Again, coming in spring of 2024. But that's not all, because there's 2 more movies to end the phase. It's Captain America: New World Order in 2024.
NWO.
And the finale, as of right now, for Phase 5 is Thunderbolts, a movie. Yeah. And that's July 26th, 2024. So 2 years from now, we'll be at the end of Phase 5.
Wow.
With a Thunderbolts movie. Which I guess
thrilled.
I guess we might as well just lead into Phase 6.
Yeah.
Which there's 3 movies announced: Fantastic Four, which is billed for November of 2024. And then we got 2 Avengers movies, The Kang Dynasty in May, and then Secret Wars in November.
I mean, we all knew, and Joe was banging the drum probably earlier than anyone, that Secret Wars was coming. But to see it, to see the words is like, that's got to feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Joe, what was your first initial reaction to everything that was thrown at us?
I was just like, 2 Avengers in 1 year.
And none for the previous phase.
Yeah.
So phase 4 does not have an Avengers movie.
Right.
And phase 5 doesn't have an Avengers movie.
Right.
But phase 6 has 2.
That goes to the cooldown period.
Yeah.
So
phase 5 is probably going to feel fucking like getting wrung tight, because to not have the release valve of a gigantic cross-promotional team-up film to get to blow it off, it's going to be like, Kang Dynasty is probably going to be fucking nuts.
Yeah. I have to imagine that's going to be something Infinity War-esque of like, but worse. Like, I think that's where we get the Secret Wars final page of like the Marvel Cinematic Universe 2008 to 2025. And the RIP screen, and then Secret Wars is Battle World. After that, who knows? It looks, I guess, a reboot of the entire universe.
I just so to go through. You said Ant-Man and the Wasp 3 Quantumania is where we're gonna get Kang to start with, and then there was a trailer. There was a Comic-Con trailer that was aired that people saw, but the people that didn't go to San Diego didn't get to see it. But somebody on YouTube held his phone up and didn't record the screen, but he just picked up all of the audio. So I listened to the trailer that they heard at Comic-Con, and I cross-referenced it with people who were like, I was there, here's what it was. And it seems legit. MODOK gets FaceTime along with Kang in a more comic accurate attire, if you will. So that movie's gonna be fucking crazy. Like, I don't think I've ever been more excited for an Ant-Man movie.
I was gonna say, I'm indifferent about it. But I don't know. I don't really know what to expect with it.
I think part of the fun of it is the kind of oh shit of it. Like, we know it's the next big bad of the entire universe.
Yeah,
and Ant-Man's gonna fight him.
That's true.
Well, that's the thing is, like, it's not him alone.
Right.
In this, he's got Hank Pym, he's got Janet, he's got the Wasp, he's got his daughter Cassie. She's going to be suiting up because they released that poster that has her in costume as well. So he's not alone.
Right.
T.I. not coming back. So
did we ever find out what happened to that ghost chick?
Ghost is out there somewhere.
But will she be back?
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking.
Movie.
I don't know if she'll be back in this, but like, I think she could be in Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
I think she's a prime candidate to offer a deal like that.
So talk about Thunderbolts, like in like that's a group.
It's like Suicide Squad.
It's like Suicide Squad essentially, right? But now, because the actor that played Thunderbolt Ross passed away, are they named? Are you thinking like?
Yeah, I think it's like an in memoriam kind of thing. Yeah. We'll never get the Red Hulk. Oh, well.
Right? Like, I mean, they could definitely just give that to somebody else, I feel like, too.
Yeah.
We could just... I mean, the MCU's fucked with enough things that if they wanted to make another character that's adjacent to the Hulk, the Red Hulk, I feel like they could get away with it.
They could always bring Jennifer Garner back as Red She-Hulk.
Let's hope not. Yeah, other stuff to talk about. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 We've been confirmed to have said that this is the last incarnation of this team of the Guardians in the MCU.
Everybody's like really worried this is gonna be like a real like tearjerker of a movie, because even like the trailer that they showed, you see like a shot of like Rocket being taken as like a baby by the High Evolutionary, but then you don't see Rocket again for the whole trailer.
Yeah, interesting.
So like probably gonna kill off Rocket because he's a raccoon and he did not get snapped, so he's been alive for how long?
Yeah. Well, I know that James Gunn said, I read a thing, I think it was in Entertainment Weekly, that he said that he specifically came back because he wanted to finish Rocket's story.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot left on the table with what we know about Rocket. So this is very much, he felt like his avatar as a character within it. So it's like his send-off or whatever. He didn't make it sound so final for the character.
Right.
Like, I'm not saying like his send-off is in like, and this is how Rocket is. Like, I'm not saying that. But I mean, it's entirely possible, sure, that they kill Rocket off. It would be really sad. I feel like Rocket should be the only character with Groot that survives.
Yeah.
The Guardians, and everybody else goes the fuck away and they start a new team. Rocket and Groot, because it's just two guys doing voices. You could do that forever. Dave Bautista doesn't want to stand there for 6 hours getting fucking makeup anymore. I get it.
Yeah, but think of the VFX team, Robert.
No, could you imagine how bad Drax would look if his whole gimmick was added? And it would not be.
Well, I was just thinking when you said that, like if James Gunn leaves and nobody's there to fight for it, well, it's going to stop them from making a CGI Drax.
Yeah.
You got that She-Hulk money.
And just the name of it, Captain America: New World Order, and the placement of it before Thunderbolts, but at the end of Phase 5, really interesting. Really interesting, because I don't know how many properties are before Fantastic Four in that Phase 6 slide, but I don't think it's that many. So what could that mean?
Fantastic Four is leading off Phase 6.
It leads it off. Okay. Yeah. That's crazy. I'm excited for whatever that means for. And there were questions. Have you seen that? There's questions about like who's going to be Captain America in this Captain America movie. It's just
the same stupid people bringing up the same stupid like conversations. They've made it very clear who Captain America is. Yeah. There's no doubt. No one's confused. No. It's just the same idiots who keep like rambling on like, let's bring it up and wonder if Chris Evans is going to come back. He's not coming back, guys. Yeah. It's Sam. Sam's Captain America, okay? There's no confusion. We solved it here on Pop Kannon. You got the exclusive scoop. Sam Wilson is Captain America. It's done.
I've consulted exactly my brain, and I'm determined. Yeah, as soon as I saw that, I was like, wait, who's asking? Like, it's pretty fucking clear. And then Chris Evans on Twitter was like, Sam Wilson is Captain America. Like, he said that word for word to the Hollywood Reporter, who was asking a completely monotonous and stupid question.
Yeah.
They just want internet clicks.
Yeah.
As if it's some fucking mystery.
Yeah, it's not. It's definitely not. It's Sam Wilson. It's going to be awesome to see him on screen. The name makes me excited, obviously, for wrestling purposes. So I don't know where they're going with it. But I'm stoked to see what that means, because it's probably going to have to do with the power broker. But its placement before Thunderbolts is a very interesting prospect, considering the rerouting of how the world is working now within the MCU.
Yeah, and like, is Bucky going to be there, or have they separated since?
Right. They separated.
Yeah.
I thought those kids that were going to make that marriage work, man.
They were going to get there.
To be determined.
Because Bucky might change the title, but like, it would be interesting to have him there and then split off. You know what they might do? Yeah, they might put whoever the new Wolverine is in Thunderbolts.
Yeah, like I mean, you're gonna get a Wolverine. I feel like you're gonna get a Wolverine standalone
anymore. It's gonna be they're probably in Thunderbolts.
It's the end of the phase. What else are they gonna do?
No, I think
It's gonna be
I
like
don't
the
think that you.
Expendables, which is way too many characters.
I don't think that you're gonna see Wolverine in anything other than a post-credit tag and then his own film standalone somewhere in Phase 6 is my guess.
I don't think so. I think there's potential. I like poking the fire here. He's going to be in Thunderbolts.
I mean, look it.
Calling it now.
I hope so. I hope so.
I mean, I
would love to be wrong.
Still wish that they had him in the city they go to in Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Madripoor or whatever.
Madripoor, yeah.
Because that's a very like Wolverine and the X-Men place.
I mean, Power Broker's still hanging out there.
Yeah.
Sick.
I would like them to try her again.
In like within a film context?
Yeah. Like if they do decide to do that again, like I would like to see like a second shot at it just because it was just.
I want to see her get run over by Shang-Chi's sister. So
okay.
I don't. I think if given the right material, Sharon would be like a very intimidating villain.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, I'm not. I'm saying that within the context of a movie, I would like to see Shang-Chi's sister with the full force of the 10 Rings take out the Power Broker.
Oh yeah,
like because she thinks she's so powerful, and then like take over her empire as well. Like I want his sister to be doing all of that kind of shit.
That's the other thing that like I don't know if that's gonna come up in like the Marvels or what. Like everything from Shang-Chi, like. When are they gonna come up again? Like, when are they gonna have a second movie? They have all these movies planned out for the next 4 years, but they haven't even mentioned like one of their biggest movies of the last two.
And I feel like that's something that we should also mention because every time that they do one of these releases for Comic-Con and they have the whole timeline, it has never been released to the letter,
right.
like never.
Yeah,
they've never done it.
Even the titles.
Fully expect half of the shit in 5 to slot back into 6, and other things to pop up because it's just necessary for them to move things forward because of how the trajectory of shit is working.
Remember when Inhumans was going to be a movie?
Yeah, it's like kind of just like release some information and kind of see where the reaction is. Or I mean, you can't necessarily. I mean, you can plan the next film without having the previous one come out, obviously. But like, I think they do also kind of take into account reactions to some stuff and kind of.
They have to
not reverse course, but change course or alter course.
Everything's
a little bit.
Fluid. Nothing's set in stone until it's
out.
Yeah,
basically.
Just like how you were talking to us yesterday about the potential of Wakanda being landlocked, and like they might change that for this movie. Like we don't know. They could kind of do what they want depending on what they need.
Right.
Yeah. Because they can just change it and be like, "Oh, the maps are wrong." Like, like it doesn't matter. They could change anything.
Kevin taps on the microphone. He's like, "It's made up."
And a million heads explode in the audience.
Yeah. We also don't know where Spider-Man fits in to any of this.
Well, I think Tom Holland's getting that vacation he wanted.
Yeah.
But I think they're going like, but you'll come back. Like,
like, do you think the next time we see Spider-Man is like that first Avengers movie?
If that.
Because also, I mean, obviously this is Marvel Studios, but is Sony going to also produce a film with them to be like the fourth Spider-Man somewhere in here?
I think they intend on that.
I hope so, yeah.
I think that they still want to.
Because if we have to wait until 2025 to see Tom Holland as Spider-Man again, I'm going to be actually mad.
No.
Yeah, because you know what they're going to do?
They're going
to
stand that on the table. Like Sony's actively going to make another Spider-Man movie.
Because I mean, basically at this point, Spider-Man movie and like Tom Holland Spider-Man movie, it's like a guaranteed $1 billion venture right now. Like
Yeah.
they know that. So like whenever Sony is like, we'd like $1 billion, please. They'll call Kevin Feige back and they'll get it. Like he'll be like, yeah, of course. We could just fucking move everything back. It's fine. What is this? Thunderbolts? Throw it the fuck out. It's the idea of like the thing that we were assuming is the linchpin just getting tossed in the fucking trash for a Spider-Man movie is great.
Yeah. I know I say it every time, but I do really hope we get Miles Morales out of Secret Wars. Like, I would love that. And not just as like
we have to wait until 2025, Joe. I'm going to be mad.
Yeah.
Well, if we don't wait till 2025, then Tom Holland has to die. Well, not Tom Holland, Peter Parker. Tom Holland can live on happily. That's not a threat.
If we don't get Miles Morales, Tom Holland dies.
I would like it.
We will fucking kill him.
I would like that word stricken from the record.
No, that's a good clip.
That is a good clip.
But no, like I don't really want to see Miles' story without the like Peter dying part of it. Like I'm fine if they do it the way that they did it in like the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon, where he like goes to his universe and he's just like, "You're dead."
Yeah, and takes over.
Yeah.
Love that. I don't even need him to come from another universe.
Toby and Andrew back again for
I'll settle for him being there now and just becoming that. Like, I don't need him to come from another. I mean, if you want to make it a multiverse, say, fuck it, I don't care. He passes through a membrane in a fucking alleyway and he decides to take over the mantle. Fine. It's
I don't know what to think because, like, we're getting kind of desensitized to the Marvel content and they're just pumping it out now.
And that's why, like, going into Comic-Con, I was just like, I do feel very desensitized to Marvel, and I was just like not really expecting anything. And then like they came and like they still managed to make me excited in spite of that. But yeah, I agree. Like I'm not sure where this goes, but I guess I'm gonna be there watching it.
Yeah. And it's a lot of content too. It's like a lot of shit to watch.
It's a ton.
So much content.
I can't wait to like say to my son, like, all right, well, we got to start the MCU when you're 8, because when you're 16, I want to be able to be done with it. So
you'll just be caught up. It's just in a.
We'll just be at release order after 8 years of watching one film or show a weekend for fucking 8 years.
Well, I do think we're at the point where like well, I've been saying this since like Infinity War, that I don't think everything's necessary. Like I'm gonna personally watch everything, but like if you don't want to watch She-Hulk, I don't think you're gonna miss out on like anything super important to the greater narrative. And like what makes like a good Avengers movie work is like if that movie on its own works, which like Endgame on its own probably didn't work. Like if you came in without knowing anything, that's a very estranging movie film for you. But like all the other Avengers movies, I feel like they stand on their own, and I think you could go into that and say like, oh, like I really like I almost picked like 2 characters who didn't have any other movies. Like, oh wow, Iron Man's really cool, I want to go and watch the Iron Man movies. But like I don't think you necessarily had to come in seeing them, and I know people who didn't.
Oh yeah, I mean especially for phase 1, which was kind of patchworky in the way that they put it together. I mean, I didn't see the first Iron Man or Hulk in theaters.
I don't think I saw Hulk, but I saw Iron Man.
So like, but like at this point, I feel like if you're trying to follow the narrative for all of it, I think it's all required viewing at least once. If you go through on a watch back and decide to skip things, but I feel like you have to at least have seen it to decide whether or not you can skip it anymore.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to watch Echo, but like, am I thrilled about it?
That's what I mean though. Like we're all going to just because of who we are, but I don't think you have to.
Yeah. From like a casual viewer's perspective, I don't think people are like going out of their way to get Disney Plus just so they could watch the Marvel shows.
However,
just to stick up with it.
The shows have definitely had different tones So they're going for different parts of audiences rather than just, you know what I mean? The shows are for wildly different ranges of people. That's not necessarily their baseline that goes to the theater. So
they're trying to just make a jumping on point.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They're trying to make it easy, like a new title. But to
Joe's point, not putting an Avengers movie out for however many years, that makes it difficult to give people a fucking jumping on point that, like, this is already way spinning, so how do you even get into it if you're not? Not having an Avengers movie to be like, hey, pick a character out of this and follow their story. Like, you can't do that.
Right.
Yeah.
For me, it's like the same as like when I started watching One Piece. I'm like, there's 1,000 episodes. I'll never not have anything to watch. So like, if I'm like at a loss like that and I've never watched a Marvel movie, I might say like, I'm gonna get into Marvel, just so I have something.
Could you imagine in 2022 being like, man, I haven't ever watched anything from the MCU. Let's Iron Man. Let's go see.
I know people like that though.
Yeah.
Like my buddy Tarek, like, doesn't watch any of the Marvel stuff, doesn't watch any superhero stuff really.
Like, you could be like, that's my Tuesday night now until forever.
Not having the in theater reaction to some of the stuff though is not the same. It's like never having that shared experience with a group of people that are as excited as you are to see the things that are happening.
And I think that's kind of why Marvel stumbled at the beginning of this phase, because of the pandemic and because people couldn't go and have that shared experience, because they literally set up points in their films so that there could be an audience reaction to it. And if you're just sitting there in your living room by yourself and it's just like, oh, there's that dude from The Office. Okay. Like, I don't know. It's a weird beast, and they're so far gone down the rabbit hole.
You're saying watching Doctor Strange and that being your reaction to fucking Reed Richards is, oh, there's that dude from The Office. Oh, because it's just like such the opposite reaction for me when I saw him that, like, holy shit.
It's just a different world.
Wow.
So that's what it is.
Imagine no selling Reed Richards in the MCU. Fuck, man.
Well, we certainly didn't. But now I guess we want to turn the conversation over to you guys. Let us know what you think about the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the current state that it's in, whether or not you're interested for the remainder of Phase 4, any of Phase 5, or even the wild shit that they've announced for Phase 6 already. Will it change? Probably, but
yes.
As always, you know that your friends at Pop Kannon are here to talk you through it.
That's what we do.
Yeah. As always, hit us up on our Facebook, our Instagram, or our Twitter at Pop Kannon.
You can also subscribe to us on YouTube. Just search Pop Kannon with a K, and you'll find our channel and all of our past episodes. Everything that we've ever talked about is there.
Yeah, even back before we did video podcasts, you could go listen to us chat.
Yeah, if you want to follow us individually, I am on Twitter and Instagram at Joe for Broke.
I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Yesball.
And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at JL24FPS. So thank you very much for watching and or listening. We will see you on the very next episode. And as always, stay cool. I don't know what I was going for there. As always, you know, as if that's like a common thing to end the episode. It's hot, all right? The air conditioning's been off. I'm just trying to tell everyone to stay cool. Stay cool. It's so hot. Sweating. It's so hot.
You know that thing I always say.